the meme that I was hearing over and over, and I was yelling at the TV. I finally, after 2 hours of watching coverage, flipping back and forth between CNN and MSNBC, I got so sick I said, screw it. And Louise and I went and watched Murdoch Mysteries on Hulu for a couple hours. It was like, okay, I'm over it. I'm over it. I want to watch a show from the 1890s in Canada, which literally is what we did. It just, you know, and the meme that they kept promoting, the thing that they kept promoting that was making me so crazy was, oh, if you see something, say something. You know, we should have been able to see this coming. As if to say that only in the United States do we have people who have mental illness problems, which is more horse stuff. I mean, this is just total crap. It is, well, let me give you the details. New York City came up with this see something, say something slogan. In fact, they trademarked it. When Washington, D.C. wanted to use it, they had to pay New York City. So they came up with this thing. John Mueller writes about this for the Cato Institute of all things. This is back in 2012. But we've known about this for a long time. It began in 2006 in New York City. That year, the See Something, Say Something campaign in the New York subways and all over the city, you know, call the police if you see something, particularly if it has to do with terrorism. That year in 2006, it generated 9,000 calls. And by 27, a year later, it was 13,000 calls. In 2008, it was up to 27,000 calls. And by the way, every single one of those calls provokes a police investigation. So we're talking probably tens to hundreds of millions of dollars spent. So a reporter for the New York Times and then later a reporter for Cato said, well, gee, out of these 10, 20, 30,000 calls about suspicious activity, how many produced an actual arrest or conviction for terrorism or any other crime? Zero. I remember last year there was a story when I was living in Washington, D.C. about how the D.C. Metro was averaging something like 18,000 calls a year. How many terrorists had they caught? Zero. And so now we're going to take this, which does nothing. You know, the thing from previous years was, it's too soon to talk about this. The emotions are too hot. What crap. And everybody figured out it was crap, and everybody figured out this is, you know, this is just a way of avoiding a serious discussion while you continue to take your blood money from the National Rifle Association, Cory Gardner. And as we figured this out, and Richard Burr is at the top of the list, they invested $7 million, the NRA, in Richard Burr. You think he's going to talk about gun control? You think he's going to talk about an assault weapon ban? Do you think he's going to talk, which, by the way, Ronald Reagan supported? You think he's going to talk about bringing back the Brady bill, which Ronald Reagan supported? These guys are not Republicans. These guys are shills for corporations. They go to whomever pays them the most. It's just that simple. If you're a deadly industry in the United States, if you produce pesticides that cause cancer, if you produce chemicals that kill people, if you produce you know, if you work with petroleum products that foul the air and the water and kill our planet, all you have to do, you know, the Republican Party will take your money. They'll even pretend science doesn't exist for you. That's how sold out they are. And so the old meme was, oh, our thoughts and prayers are with you. And it's too soon to talk about it. Now, after Newtown, after Pulse, after all the, you know, we're just not taking that anymore. So now they've come up with a new one. And it's all over the media. You see all these shills on TV over and over and over again, and you need to be letting your networks know when you see these people how offended you are by this BS. You see these people going, oh, well, if we had just had somebody report him. This idiot in Florida who shot these 17 kids, who murdered these 17 kids, he had already been reported to the FBI. There's nothing you can do. Under the current law, at the very best, you could adjudicate them mentally ill, but Donald Trump and the Republicans in Congress passed a law, one of their very first pieces of legislation, that said even if somebody's adjudicated mentally ill, and there were 75,000 people in America who fit that category, so severely mentally ill that they qualify for Social Security disability, which is a multi-year process with multiple doctors certifying that you're nuts. or you know, so badly impaired that you can't work, that those people can now buy guns. So calling up and saying, you know, I think this guy is a potential shooter, it does nothing. But this is the new meme. Anything to avoid talking about gun control. Anything to avoid talking about why the hell do we have weapons of war on the streets of America. You got this idiot congressman from Kansas. I tweeted this out this morning. I don't have his name in front of me, but you can check my Twitter feed. This idiot congressman from Kansas who, day before yesterday, announced that he's raffling off an AR-15. Yep, if you want to support his campaign, make a donation, and you're entered into the raffle for an AR-15, the weapon that killed those kids yesterday. These people are nuts. No, they're not. They're not nuts. They are sociopaths. They don't give a damn about the United States of America. They don't give a damn about our children. All people like Richard Burr and Tom Tillis and Roy Blunt and Marco Rubio and Cory Gardner and Joni Ernst and Rob Portman and Todd Young and Bill Cassidy, all they give a damn about is the millions that the NRA gives them.